Okay, welcome, Najia. Thank you for doing this with me. You are on Not Nosy, Just Curious podcast, and I am so grateful to have you. First of all, let me ask, tell me what you do and why.
My pleasure to be on, Yvonne. Thank you. Okay, I am a medical esthetician. I've been doing medical aesthetics for over 20 years now. I do what I do because I love to transform people's lives. I love it when you're walking in glowing. You feel better about yourself. You feel more beautiful. It's just my way of giving back to the world, and it's definitely a passion.
Great. That's, they say, do what you love, and then, good things will come. Now, because of what you do you find you are always looking at women's skin?
I do. I could be judgy.
Can you? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I appreciate the transparency.
And then I like to look at you and say this is where I can get you. And I always tell my clients, if you trust in me and you're patient and you're consistent, because consistency is very important, you will get the results you want. And most of my clients are thanking me.
That's wonderful. So
Yeah.
that's
And really saying thank you because of Naja. Thank you, I'm glowing. And I see you're even glowing yourself.
because I'm pregnant.
Nah.
I'm not. No, yeah, just kidding. But anyhow, I find I not only your product, but you personally are so endearing. So, do you work at that, or is that just the way you are? I mean, because
No.
you're very close to people, and that has to be very hard to be responsible for someone's face like that.
Yeah, you have to be confident. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be, dedicated, hardworking. But if your stuff and you know what you're doing and you know the products you're using and the machinery or the equipment you're using to get that client that result, if I don't just purchase a product or a piece of equipment in my practice just because of, this is going to make me money. The reason why I do what I do and use certain modalities in the practice is because I believe in the outcome. If I don't use it on myself, I'm not going to use it on my client.
So you do use it on yourself.
Exactly. I'm a firm believer in everything I do. I have to fix myself and then I'm out fixing other women. So if I bring on a service, it's because this is what I would love to do. So I know many of us are the same. We're all looking to look beautiful and, our body, our face, or whatever it is.
And I have found you're very transparent. When I started, you said it's not a one and done, like you said earlier, it's a continuance. So after you continue I forgot what you told me, 3 procedures, then is there a maintenance program afterwards? Is this something you should do forever, the rest of your life? Or, I mean, what is the commitment you make when you start this?
I definitely believe if you're doing body work, or even permanent makeup that I do, or skincare, all of it is a maintenance. You definitely just don't want to all of a sudden fix everything, make yourself look really pretty and then stop. There's definitely a maintenance. Yes, you don't have to come in as often or maintain as often once you get to a certain point, but it's definitely maintenance. It's in everything we do in life. Do we stop washing our hair? Do we stop brushing our teeth? Do we stop
Well
going
put.
getting cleanings?
Yes,
It's the same thing. Do you go to the gym and just do a workout and then stop? It's the same thing. I mean, we're
I do.
continuously aging. We continuously have to rebuild collagen, exfoliate the skin. Even with the body work that I do, your lymph nodes get blocked. You definitely have to build, circulation to rebuild collagen in the body as well, and then drain toxins. The lymphatic system has to be clean. So that all takes maintenance.
So let's backpedal a little bit, Najia. Please tell exactly what you do. There's many processes you do here. So list them. Tell us what you do.
I do skincare. So
Right.
mostly if you suffer from acne, hyperpigmentation, fine lines and wrinkles, I also do body contouring. So anyone that has cellulite, lymphatic issues, a lot of swelling in the body, or they need to tighten their skin, or even just like lose a few inches, they have fat pockets. Some people come in, they have botched like jobs from liposuction or just even using cool sculpting. We do a lot of that. So a lot of body contouring. Also do permanent makeup. I've been a permanent makeup artist for over 20 years as well. So I do brows. And I also do lip blushing and eyeliner. So with the brows, I customize the brows at this point. I do anywhere from microblading to powder brows to correction to combining microblading with the powder. That's my favorite thing to do is to combine it. It gives the most realistic look.
Now, do you think anybody is too young to start this?
Well, I have a 13-year-old and she's a fan of, doing the facials now. And she tells all her friends and they all want to come to Nadja's Beauty Bar. So even at 13, kids are interested in skincare. So definitely, I think 13 is the time to get, kids started because of the acne and the
Mhm.
buildup. And, my 13-year-old, I'm even dermaplaning her, just a little bit of the peach fuzz that they get that, the clogged pores. So that's the youngest I believe
And
that you could
that
do.
makes sense,
Yeah.
for medical reasons like that.
Hmm.
Do you think women have not been very kind to their skin? I mean, out there sunning and doing whatever. I mean, do you think we have just not been aware of our skin? And now you,
Well, yeah. I mean, we've all been guilty of that. I mean, I remember as an early teen, I was tanning on the roof of my parents' house with my brother with baby oil.
right, right. That was, I mean, I
Yeah.
think we used
Yeah.
iodine or something in baby
Yeah.
oil.
And we were putting stuff in our hair that,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So I was in that era. So I know.
All right.
And
So let
I've
me ask
reversed a lot of damage on myself
Oh,
as
I
well.
bet. Hey, let me
Mhm.
ask you too, Nazia. Did you find this path out of necessity or survival?
No, actually, it's been a passion ever since I'm young. I started as a hairdresser.
Mm-hmm.
I started cutting hair at the age of 13. No one taught me. I just started cutting. I don't
Yeah.
know, just had a vision,
Mm-hmm.
a creative side. And then, it led me into aesthetics. And here I am.
So you didn't find it a path of survival when, when you had some challenges in your life. I mean,
The
you stepped out here, man. You put your toes right in the water, and now you have your own business and everything, which is terribly frightening. Was that fear what took you down that survival path?
The path of survival, I'd say, was when I went to back to school. I mean, I was an esthetician, always working, but I went back to school thinking I'm going to be a CPA.
Wow,
And
that's
that
rough.
was survival, being a single mom and thinking I want to be an accountant and a CPA, you know, and that didn't work out. So that was not a passion. So definitely I know what you mean, but I didn't stick
Yeah,
with that route. Yeah. But
no,
it did help me. I mean, the education helped me.
that's a
But
challenging field. I mean,
mhm.
people, tax preparer is not a CPA. That's a whole, these are apples and oranges right here. That's a terribly hard arena to be in, CPA. Well,
Mhm.
I guess you don't ever do anything easy. So, when you decided to do this, were you a single mom? Um, were you, I mean, because obviously you've had to make your own way your whole entire life.
Mhm.
You couldn't lean on anyone. So what would you tell women that are kind of struggling right now?
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing is, have a lot of faith, have, faith, motivation, and drive. If you have that drive, you can accomplish anything. I would say, number one thing is you always got to be positive, and you always have to have the drive because if you don't have the drive, you're not going to be able to get yourself off that couch. You definitely have to have an end goal and you have to, picture yourself like, this is what I want to do and I can do this. And there's days, you're going to feel overwhelmed and you're going to feel like I can't do this. But you got to push yourself. You got to push through that.
And
And you got
so,
to have a good support system. And
yeah, I think you need someone to lean on once in a
yeah.
while, despite the intention. And were you ever like, excuse me, were you ever like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know where to start. What's next? Were you ever like
Yeah,
that?
definitely. I mean, they say education is power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key. And for me, I just kept learning and absorbing like a sponge. And I felt like, the more education I have, the more power I have, the more knowledgeable I am. And, work ethic, really hard worker. And I just took the long road in life. And I wanted to be in a good example for my children. I wanted to show them dedication, healthy living, a good clean lifestyle. I also am, very into working out and eating healthy and taking care of myself from the inside as well. So I definitely wanted to be like, if a client came to me, I wanted to represent what I'm offering them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a lifestyle where you're not having, you're not out partying and having fun, you're committed.
It's a
Um,
learned behavior.
yeah, yeah, it's
So,
definitely a sacrifice as well. Because
have you ever had to turn someone away because their expectations were so ridiculous that you just knew you and that person weren't going to be a good match?
well, I definitely turn away people that are not on the healthy lifestyle or not ready to commit, and I tell them like, get your mind, straight, you know, definitely be on a healthy lifestyle, and then come back and see me. You don't want to,
Mhm.
do something and then it's not working. If they're eating the wrong way or making wrong choices in life, or I have, sometimes younger clientele that are doing the acne treatments. I get them to start eating clean and really paying attention what they're putting in their body. And, they notice that it works too. It's not just like I'm going to come in for a facial or I'm going to come in for a treatment and it's going to fix everything. It's definitely, you have to do your part at home, even with body contouring, with anything you do in the health and beauty industry. It's not just that person that's you're coming in to see that's going to fix everything. You have a job at home too to maintain. It works like a 360.
So, Najia, you're very wise and very profound. Now, how long have you been working at this good mental state that you're in?
Work in progress most of my life.
Yeah, right. Right. So
Yeah.
you've had some heartaches,
Hmm.
you've had some challenges, and is that what gave you the strength to have this thought process, or have you?
Definitely.
It is.
Definitely. Yeah. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
And
I'm one of six, one of
oh,
six kids. My parents were immigrants from Lebanon, and we weren't given everything. We had to go out and work and learn. Yeah.
so were you ever just able to sit back and do nothing? Were you ever just able to be the housewife? Were you ever, not that that's probably the path that you wanted, that you were comfortable with, but were you ever just able to do that, be the stay-at-home
No,
mom?
no, never.
By choice because you wanted to go out and work, or it just never presented itself that way?
Yeah, it never really presented itself. So I've been working since I'm 16 years old. So it,
So you
it just,
always had to work to provide.
hmm
So you
yeah,
never,
definitely.
is it because you just never trusted anyone to take care of you and yours enough? Or because, I mean, we've all been down that road, and the minute we give up that trust a little bit, then we find it didn't work. Now we got to dig out. So you never allowed that to happen.
Well, you know, I was in a young marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and then that really taught me a lot because I found myself, divorced at 25 with two kids. And I had to, go back to school and, start all over. And, um, at one point being very like financially, struggling.
Right.
So I learned to like, working hard and being patient and keep improving yourself, and leading by example is the best way. And I believe in karma too. If you want to have good energy come your way and good blessings, you definitely have to do good. You can't,
Yes,
you
yes, I
can't,
agree.
the easy road is not going to work.
Right, I agree. I agree.
Hmm.
But like you said, lessons learned. You were young, you dug out, and did you think I am never going to let that happen to me again?
I did, and it happened again. Um, I got married 12 years later. And I have, the blessings are my children. I have my
Yes,
13-year-old from that marriage. That also didn't work as well, for its own reasons. And then this is the part of my life where I've learned what went wrong, what happened, why we ended up with, the people that we end up with. But I'm not going to let them drop. The one thing I made sure and I learned is, from the first marriage was I learned that this person is not going to drag me down with them. And you can bounce back faster because you've been there and done that.
Mhm, mhm.
So you're able to persevere.
So I think in the process, not only are you a successful woman, but in sharing those challenges makes you more um, like all of us, that, you've had those challenges too. So you're like one of the group now, you're not just a successful woman in this business. You've had these challenges also.
Yes, I can definitely relate to a lot of people.
Right.
And then don't let anyone define you. Don't let anyone stop your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do something. Um, and don't ever depend on anybody
That's
because,
the secret right
yeah,
there.
because once I even fell into that trap of kind of slowly like leaning on somebody or giving somebody, filling their bucket, not filling my own, is that's when you start to say, oh my God, what about me? Or you start to be resentful. You
Yes,
definitely
yes.
should work on yourself and always strive to be your better self and your goals and your dreams and your happiness, because it'll make you a better person. And it'll
Do you,
make them, you got to be with the right person, because if that
yes.
person is not, you know, being considerate of your own dreams and your own successes, you want somebody to share with you and to really pair well with you, not someone who's going to bring you down.
So Najia, do you think that is being selfish?
No, because it brings the better version of both of you. And for your children as well. It's a healthier environment to see mom successful, to see dad successful, not mom sad and crying in the corner. You know, your kids really, really gravitate
Oh yeah.
to the mom and what she does, or you want your children to say like, this is what mom can be. You want your children to be proud of you.
And you learned that through life's lessons. I mean, because we, as young women, our confidence wanes slightly and we get, bulldozed. So I think it's learned, and then then you become a pit bull. Then you're hard to deal with because the day you declared your independence, you became your own worst enemy because you'll do it yourself. You'll get it done because, like you
Well,
said, you're not leaning on anybody.
I mean, yeah, and then it's also I have two daughters, so it teaches them to be strong, independent women. I mean, my daughter now is an ER doc.
Oh, you
Um,
must be very proud.
I
Yes.
am very proud, and then also my son. It's funny, but my daughter-in-law always tells me, you raised a great, you know, son, because he's a great husband. Like, he knows how to respect women. He
Yeah.
helps her with everything, and he's
Yeah.
very proud of her, and he's
Yeah.
very supportive of her career. So,
So that speaks volumes
yeah,
also. Yes.
you're
You
also
that
teaching your
right.
son how to treat women and how to
Yes.
respect women as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think women are raising really great men
Mhm.
today, because they can cook, they can sew, they
Yeah.
can wash, The men of the older generations just went to work and that's all they were
Well,
expected
they
to
and
do.
they learned that their moms, stayed home, and that's what they were supposed to be. They were supposed to be in the kitchen, and We can
And
stomp
it
and
was,
treat them
yeah,
the way we want.
right. So, yeah.
Especially in my culture.
I was just going to ask you that. Is that a cultural thing that women are kind of expected to stay behind?
Yes. I mean, it's changed a lot now,
Mhm.
definitely. But yeah, that is the culture, get married, have babies, and make food.
Make food. So did you hurt your well you married within the culture originally, didn't you?
Hmm.
So okay. And would you advocate that for another woman to marry within the culture, or no, girl, get out there and just meet anybody?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with marrying in the culture. It's marrying the right person. I don't think it has anything to do with the culture. I think nowadays, you know, all types of people are pretty much have similarities. All types of cultures, I feel like, have similarities.
Mhm.
Um, Not one culture is better than the other. I feel like everyone has their faults. So I don't wouldn't say necessarily, tell anyone, hey, don't get married to a certain culture. I really think everyone is um, supposed to look at the individual themselves, you
Right.
know?
But
Yeah.
don't you appreciate some of the cultural traditions and still practice that?
Yeah, I love
Some
my culture. I
people,
love being Lebanese.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love the food. I love the people. Um, I love everything. It's just the culture is what made me who I am. Yes. I mean, the culture made my parents think it's okay to marry me off so young, because, the culture says a certain way is the right way. But
Mhm.
I think they all grow and evolve. And, I'm sure my mom doesn't think that way anymore, thinking, you should get married that young age. She's definitely for education and for a woman to have her own. But back then, that's what they thought was right.
And that's what you taught your daughters. Have your own. Have your
Yes.
own money. Money is power. Money is control. Have your own. Don't
Well,
ever.
I didn't want my daughters to struggle. I mean, my 13-year-old now, I teach her, but my older daughter, the one that's 29 now, I taught her that you don't want to be in the same situation as mom. You don't want to be in the situation where you had to go back to school and work with two kids, and you don't have that financial strength and stability for you to suffer, you and your children. I mean, there isn't, and I couldn't buy them everything they wanted, but I provided the best way possible. But you know what, it made them who they are, and they're great kids, and they're doing really well, and I'm proud of them, you know.
I think that was because of your influences. You know what I mean? And like you said earlier, they pay attention. They
They
know.
do. I mean, my daughter, when she was applying for med school, she was so surprised how I influenced her going to a certain med school. When she went and interviewed at the med school, because I went to the same university that she interviewed for med school, I guess the person that was interviewing her, the whole conversation was about me. She was like, so she's like, I didn't realize how much it would be about you, mom, and I got in. So it was
That's
like it
great.
was nice. I was like, well, at least my degree didn't go for nothing.
Right, right. Well, it's great when they speak, and they paid attention and they respect what you did despite the darkness. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I obviously thought back then I didn't really know if I was doing the right thing or wrong. I just had this mindset that I wanted me and my kids to survive, and I wanted me and my kids to be the best that we can be. Despite the stigma of, hey, you're a broken home, hey, you're a single mom, hey, you can't do it. Your kids are going to end up pretty much. I've heard comments like, my kids are going to end up losers or in jail or selling drugs, because I'm a single mom
yeah,
and I needed a man to be by my side. Well, guess what? Now I'm the example.
yeah, hell yeah, you are.
Hmm.
So, I mean, what was I going to ask you? I forgot.
Oh yeah, talking to me, you'll go off track.
Yeah. Anyhow, I was just going to say, why I can't even remember, Najia, what I was going to ask you. Well, I think, like you said in the beginning, we have to have those three power points, and that was the drive, the
Faith
ambition,
in God.
faith. Oh, do you think faith in God plays a big role?
Yes.
You do. So, do you
Yes.
believe in the power of prayer?
Yes, I do. I have a big faith in God. God is, I wouldn't be here today um, if it wasn't for my faith. And He has helped me overcome everything.
So, when you're just coming off of a broken heart and you're on the couch feeling really sorry for yourself, is there one certain something that slapped you out of it?
Yeah, my faith in God, definitely.
Good.
Even when you feel like, you can't do something, you got to have that strong faith, you know?
I read somewhere and I remembered it. I thought it was so powerful. It was when victims say, "Why me?" Survivors say, "What's next?"
Hmm.
You know, so you can make the choice to be the victim, or you can get off that couch and what's next,
And
you
change
know?
your future. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely. Definitely.
So, in closing, Najia, give us a PowerPoint that we're going to remember. Already, we remember all the stuff you said because it's pretty profound, but I'm asking you to go deeper right here in closing.
I just want to let all the women know that no matter how bad anything can be, you can definitely get yourself out of any circumstances by just having strong will, faith, and the strength to work hard and change your life around. Definitely, you could do anything you want to do.
You got to believe.
You got to believe.
You got to believe. I want to ask
Mhm.
you one more thing, Najia, before we go. Do you think women are typically kind of not paying enough attention to themselves?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to, pay attention to your children and, raising your children. That they're number one always in all parents' lives. But you also have to be taking care of yourself. There's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself as a woman.
It's
I know
not
you,
vain to
yeah,
go, get a facial. It's not vanity
yeah.
to put a little lipstick on, right?
Honestly, I think people will be a lot happier in their lives if they take care of themselves. Like even if you take an hour out of the day and say, I'm going to go do yoga or I'm going to
Mhm.
go take care of myself once a month and get something done, you know, a facial or something
Right.
for my body. There's nothing wrong with that because you know what? Your husband's going to look at you, your friends are going to look at you, your kids are going to look at you and they're going to admire you because you're going to be glowing
So you
and you're
think
going to
it's
be happy.
admiration and not
Mhm.
vanity. You think,
Exactly.
because women can hate other women. We do not support sometimes. We're not the greatest at allies. We need to come together.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good when people tell you, you look good, you're glowing. What are you
Right.
doing? What are
Right.
you doing for yourself? No, I don't think anything's wrong with it. I think you're around the wrong set of people. If people are telling you that they're
Right.
definitely not the right people to be around.
I agree. Well, this was a lot of fun. Would you do this
Thank
again
you.
with me?
Sure, I'll try.
I love it.
Definitely.
I just think you're very wise. You're wise. You're
Thank
easy
you.
to listen to. I might even take some of those little PowerPoints myself.
All right, no problem, Yvonne. You glow,
I'll see
girl.
you soon. See you soon. All right.
See you. Bye bye. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye bye now.